So I'm just hearing about Kool-Aid pickles.
What the fuck is a Kool-Aid pickle?
I think it's pickles they make with Kool-Aid, like
but that's not a thing. But that's not a thing. You can't say,
Tony,
I assume.
I'm just telling you about this. It's right here on the internet. It's Kool-Aid pickles.
Kool-Aid pickles? I'm going to look up Kool-Aid pickles right now.
Yeah, damn right you are.
Kool-Aid pickles.
Yeah.
What the fuck? They're bright red. Why would anyone do this?
Hey, watch it with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch it with Dan and Tony. It's Hey, watch it, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Grandpa Dan.
And I'm youthful Tony. That's a lie. I can't even say that with a straight face.
On this show, we talk about the great American art form, the movie, which actually it is the great American art form.
Is it still in 2024? I feel like it's dying.
What do you think?
I feel like we're witnessing the beginning of the end, and in 5 years it'll be something different.
So you think the great American art form is going to be the video game?
Well, if it is, I'm here for. I'm way ahead of the game. Then I'm already in it. Is that your first-person shooter game? I think that would sell pretty well. Just fart noises while you fire a gun. People will buy it.
Fart gun.
People will buy it.
Oh, we should do a shooter called Fart Gun.
Done and done. We already sold it. I'm pretty sure.
I already made a video game and lost the most money on it of anything I've ever done. Most time and money that I've ever lost on anything I've ever done in my life.
Is that true?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
So were you selling it? Were you selling the game?
Yeah.
Was it an app phone, like a phone game?
Yeah, it was a Mr. Toast.
Because I remember I had it. I don't have it anymore because it's not listed.
Well,
so I got a new phone and it went away, and I was very sad.
Because the way that works is you have to be a real company that can continually make your thing available. Every 6 months you have to redo it. And then sometimes
I actually didn't know that.
Switch platforms, and like at a certain point, if you turned on the game, it would just be on half the screen.
Right, yeah, because all your specs change with all of your ice creams upgrades or whatever the hell they call the Android operating system, the OS, as it were.
Don't think I made even $1 on the game. Don't think I even made $1.
What did you sell it for?
I don't remember. $1.
Well, then somebody made $1 because I bought it.
Yeah, I think you and my buddy Dove were like the two people that bought it. So maybe there's 50 cents out there in the ether floating around.
Just sitting in a bank account somewhere.
Sitting in some big fat bank account.
Now, how long would you say it took you?
Did we work on? I worked with a developer and I had to pay him.
Okay,
and we worked on it for a year and a half, I think.
Now, I don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback or just a dick in general. The game was basically a side-scrolling dodge game.
Yeah.
That took you a year? That took the developer a year?
Yeah, you had so many, because there were power-ups, multiple different power-ups. Right. There was different animations for each thing that he hit. There was just an endless amount of, the amount of art that I had to create for it was just
for sure. You would have had to do way more work. No offense to coders, but I feel like your job was way harder than his. He's just writing lines of code, baby. That's just a cyclical. Come on. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. It was fun. I had a good time with it. Yeah,
it was a good game. It was a great game. It was a great experience. But yeah, it was
never again.
No, God, no. And we're talking about movies. Okay, back to movies.
So I think people will love that conversation. A little peek inside your life, Dan.
It's interesting. Point from last week, Robin Givens, she was on the show Head of the Class, which I actually said Head of the Class. She was not on the Lisa Bonet Different Worlds class. She was on Head of the Class, which was Howard Hessman from WKRP in Cincinnati as a teacher of a bunch of gifted kids, including Dan Schneider.
Thought you were going to say Good Sal. Okay.
Do you know who Dan Schneider is?
From our Dan Schneider or a different Dan Schneider? Did we know a Dan Schneider?
No, Dan Schneider was the guy who went on to be like the big guy at Nickelodeon and then got into all sorts of trouble.
Oh, the bad guy. The bad guy. Okay.
The bad Dan Schneider.
I see. The bad man. Okay, got it.
So she has some pedigree on that. So that was Robin Gibbons. So
okay, got it. Yeah, well, you were close. You were in the
I
ballpark.
actually said the show that she was on.
You said the right name, meant it is a different show. I mean, it was all. You were in the ballpark.
But this week, we're talking about a different movie, a brand new movie, the latest
Brand new.
Night Shyamalan Jam, Trap.
Trap.
Starring,
It's a trap.
hour and 46 minutes, year 2024, starring Josh Hartinett, the slightly bloated, more adultish Josh Hartinett.
Don't you dare call him bloated. He's not bloated. He filled out. I bet if he took off his shirt, he'd still look good. Oh, he does take off his shirt.
He does take off his shirt. Why does he take
Yeah.
off his shirt? No one knows. Just like most things in this movie. Why did
Because he doesn't want to get
happen?
his shirt dirty when he murders her. Come on, Dan. Weren't you watching this movie?
Yeah, he doesn't want to get his
boy.
shirt dirty.
I can't wait. Yeah, we got
While
a
he
lot to talk
murders
about. I'm
someone.
excited. Yeah, because he's OCD. He likes cleanliness. And she just told him the way she found out who he was is because of the cleaning scent on his clothes when he comes home. So now he's taking his shirt off, so that doesn't happen. He's learning and evolving as the movie goes.
Oh, is that what happens? He learns and evolves as the movie goes.
That's what this. So people misunderstand this movie. I think.
Oh, do they?
Is this a good movie? No.
Okay.
Is this an interesting movie? Yes. Is it something I've never seen before? I think so. Josh Hartnett, first of all, let me just say before we get too far into this thing, Josh Hartnett is amazing in this movie. He is so good, and I just hope it gets more work for him. Let's get him back in the mainstream so he doesn't have to do weird things like this movie.
Well, I mean, okay. M. Night Shyamalan knows how to shoot a movie, right? So it looks like a
Does
movie,
he?
sort of. I mean,
There's some interesting things in this movie where it feels like he's taking some chances, and he's like, you know what might be cool? And then I didn't think it was cool.
He makes a bunch of weird choices, is what Tony's saying. But he understands what, lighting, cameras, people.
Sure.
He understands all that stuff. So you're like, okay, this movie feels slick. Like top to bottom slick. It's like if he wants you to see something, you're gonna see it, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But you lots of spoilers. So the premise of the movie is he's a serial killer, and they've gotten this clue that he's going to be at this stadium for this concert, and then they have some basic information about him being probably a white male. Maybe has a tattoo on his
From
wrist.
A profile.
Yes,
which is
because people have gotten away, and there's some camera footage.
But here's where I get a little confused.
Yes.
Is there was a list of different types of men?
Because they have footage of like some area where there were like five people pass through this area, and they're pretty sure he's one of them.
But they are pretty sure he has a tattoo on his arm. Like that.
Well, that was one
level
of the guys.
detail feels stranger than being like he might be black, he might be white, he might be fat. Like it was a little weird.
And
but he definitely has a tattoo on the arm
of a frog, and it is the littlest tattoo that you're like,
it's like this big. Someone has to be right here to see what that is. I don't know. It's a little weird.
When they mention it and they say frog tattoo, you're like, oh wow, he's gonna roll up his arm. And there's gonna be
like
this
it's gonna be
motherfucking frog on there. It's just like this
widow
thing on his thing right here.
Yeah, I couldn't even. I'm watching on a 65-inch television, and I'm still like, is that a frog? I can't tell what that little tiny tattoo is.
If they hadn't told us it was a frog, we might not figure it was a frog.
No, it'd be like it's a little character of some sort.
So they know he's going to be in here, so they let him go in there. But while he's going in there, they have thousands of cops everywhere that he sees instantaneously protecting the thing, as opposed to there are no cops, and he goes in, and then
they come, and you're like, wait, what's happening?
As soon as the concert starts, we see all these cops. But for some reason, they let him instantly see that there's all these cops.
Right, because, again, it's called Trap. So, like, it should feel more like a trap. My biggest problem with this movie is a lack of tension. And it's coming from all sorts of directions. But my two biggest things is it doesn't feel like a trap. And this is going to sound stupid. It feels like a setup. It doesn't feel like a trap.
Yeah.
As the trap is sprung, I should feel tension as he's starting to panic, like being like, what the hell is going on? he shouldn't right away at the beginning of the movie be like, wow, there's a lot of cops here. This is probably bad news. I better go find out what's happening. That's not how a trap works.
Well,
a trap works is like he's in spot and then all things should feel like they're closing in the whole movie.
Well,
it doesn't feel that way.
And that's the other thing is he just goes and figures out instantly what's happening. You know, he
everything.
knows of everything.
He finds all the information.
There are two movies, I'm sure, of which neither of you have seen. The first is called The Big Clock, which is the same sort of movie. This guy's, I think he kills somebody and he's trapped in this building and he's trying to figure out, you know, that everyone's out to get him, but they're not sure exactly who he is.
Right.
And we see him go through it as he gets, you know, and then the other one is Kevin Costner in No Way Out, which
I have seen No Way Out,
which is it's
Costner, baby. It's
a 10 out of 10. It is Costner in his great movie. We see, because he's the guy looking for himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's just trying to slip because he's like a Russian agent, whatever.
Yeah.
This movie, you don't have, and in both of those movies, you feel the tension, you know, as they realize there is less and less room for them to maneuver.
That's what it should feel like. Everything should close in and the panic should set in. That's not what this movie's about.
He never panics. He's always just like, well, I could figure out this. And then he figures out this. And then he goes, I figured that out. And you're like, it's like a writer who already knows what the end of the book is. And he's just worked his way there.
And this is why I think this movie's misunderstood, because it is pitched as the movie we just talked about, as a movie. It's called Trap, and it should be about this tension, and it should be a little cat and mouse game with this profiler. None of this is happening. Okay. What this movie is a really weird, interesting character study of this serial killer. And it's more about him processing emotions for possibly the first time of his life. I would say that's what this movie is about. Well,
I mean, that's what this movie could be about.
Okay,
not
sorry.
A chance.
You're right.
Not a chance.
I think Josh and I agree that that's what this movie is about.
Sure.
And he delivers. And the rest is just noise. 90 minutes of noise, 17 minutes of tight character study.
Well, we get to this one point in the movie at the end where he's in the car with Lady Raven, I think, and she tries to take on the role of his mother.
Yeah.
And you watch that scene and you're like, this does not work.
Nope.
But you're like, I would like to see, you know, I'd like to see this scene. I want to see this scene work, but it doesn't work. And they're
not in this movie.
They're both trying to make the scene work. She kind of can't sell that scene. She
really can't.
She's good as what she is.
The pop singer.
Playing a pop singer, she's great. But, you know, to be the psychological foil to him, she does not have that ability.
But not only does she not have that ability, because I agree, but also that's not what it's not what the movie's about. So that one scene feels really weird to me. Yeah. I would have loved it to be more about her being that for him. And not only that, but also her having a stronger connection to Spencer. Mm-hmm. Like, because they play a whole 6-minute part of this movie where she meets Spencer finally and they like hug, and it's just like, I don't care. There was no connection. She was just like, oh, I'm going to save you. And then she saved him. It's like, okay, where's the tension of that? Where's like her roller coaster of like trying to save this man? Oh no, now I'm not going to save him. Oh, I'm going to save him. And then she saves him. There's no roller. Like, she goes into the bathroom for 4 minutes and she saves his life.
Yep.
Big deal. I don't give a shit.
I like that scene. I felt like
the scene is nice.
I felt like that scene was this, like, you know, you have those sort of primal scenes in your movie that are like, oh, this is what makes the movie good. And I was like, oh, that's a good scene. But you're like you say, it's that scene is not supported by the rest of the movie.
It didn't come from anywhere or go anywhere. It's an isolated, nice moment. And I think there's a couple of those in this movie.
And another reason why this movie doesn't work is that we are living with Josh Hartinett the whole movie until we go with her into a bathroom to save this kid. I'm like, wait, our guy that is our guy
we should be on the outside of that bathroom with him, feeling his tension grow as he's panicking because he's losing control for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
But we don't get to see. We watch 40 minutes of him being in control, a 100% complete control. And as his life finally spins out of control, we're following someone else.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
And he doesn't ever do anything while his life is spiraling out of control.
Yes.
We don't, it only manifests himself in maybe him saying, my life's spiraling out of control.
Well, so we're going to disagree on that because the scene at the end of that scene, when he opens the bathroom door.
Yeah.
And he has to take a moment to collect himself.
Yeah.
I love that moment.
God.
And then he's outside the bathroom. He's stressed. He's angry. He breathes and it's gone. And he's back to being this emotionless thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that moment. It would make me like it more if previous to that moment I saw him lose his shit, which he was, because you heard screaming, you heard doors slamming. I'm pretty sure I heard something break. Like he just spent 5 minutes losing his mind. That's what I want to see. I want to see that roller coaster that he just rode, as opposed to missing all of it and seeing him here and then here again. It's frustrating to me.
See, but the writer of this movie, M. Night, wanted to show us his clever solution to saving Spencer.
Sure.
Because that's what it is. He had a clever solution to saving Spencer, and he wanted us, the writer of the movie wanted us to see this, as opposed to showing us our character that ostensibly we're supposed to be invested in. I never felt invested in him.
I think that's fair. The first time I saw it, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And this is the second time I've seen it. I like it more in the second viewing only because of Josh Hartinett.
Yeah.
Because knowing what you know at the end of the movie, which is Josh Hartinett is playing a guy who is essentially playing a human, because he doesn't feel like he's human. Yeah. And there's a line where he's like, I thought I was pretending.
But he actually does care
realizing
about it. Yeah.
And exactly, he's realizing he does care. So it's really interesting to watch Josh go back and forth between I'm fake caring and I really care, because they're there. And it's a really interesting movie to watch just for him. Again, movie's not great. Everything like the movie has a lot of problems, but his performances is really interesting to me.
My other huge problem is this movie, you're waiting for the twist. You're like, where's the twist?
I've discovered it. I know what the twist is.
What's the twist, Tony?
It's what we just talked about. The twist is you all think that this movie is a psychological thriller, and Shyamalan's like, nah, bitches, it's not. That's the twist. Fooled you. No, there's no twist. It's one of the most linear movies you'll ever see in your life. It never veers away. You're almost never surprised, right?
Never surprised.
It's weird. It's weird.
Surprised. Okay, so boom, he's with the daughter.
Let's do this.
Daughter's name is Riley. He's Cooper. I guess he's a fireman. I guess he said he's a fireman.
I mean, he says it a couple times, so he must be.
And then we see a picture in the house where it looks like he's a fireman. So I'm like, oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah.
They're going to the Lady Raven concert. Lady Raven, played by M. Night's his daughters.
Interesting.
She's good. She's an acceptable pop star. She only has 85,000 followers on Instagram. So
only.
I mean, 85,000 is, if you're trying to make music, is terrible.
I see what you're saying. Wait, hold on. Is she a musician?
Yes.
You're saying the character only has 85,000? What's happening, Dan?
M. Night Shyamalan's daughter has 85,000 followers.
And she's really trying to be a pop star.
In her music pop star career.
Hold the fucking phone, Dan.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that M. Night Shyamalan made a movie just to try to get his daughter's music career off the ground?
Yeah.
Because then that's what it feels like. If she's really trying to be a pop star and she's clearly not doing it, like she's doing okay, but she should be doing way better. He decided, you know what? I'll just make a whole movie about it, and that should help because I'm a little more upset now.
Yeah.
I didn't know that any of that was true.
Yes. All true. She wrote all the songs, performed all the songs.
Oh, no. She wrote the song that is... Where are the lines to this song?
Oh, no.
I'll have to find it somewhere. She just repeats the same line 16 times in a row, and then she's like, that's a song. What the hell's going on over there, Dan?
I thought the pop star stuff was fine. I was like...
Fine. But that's it's fine. She's not gonna be a pop star. It's fine. When I watch those movies, I'm like, well, this isn't that good. Girls would not lose their minds. This is not T Swift. This is not, I don't know, who do the people like? Olivia Rodrigo. I love her.
So you really think that music is way better than the music in the movie?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
1,000,000,000%.
Okay.
Especially Olivia Rodrigo. She's amazing.
Stop. Now
she's so good.
Have you seen Taylor Swift standing next to the what's her name, the girl that she tours with, Sabrina Carpenter?
No,
it's really.
I don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is.
Oh, she's the biggest pop star other than Taylor Swift in the whole world. Oh,
really?
But like I saw this video of because they're on tour together. Sabrina Carpenter's like the opening act, and Sabrina Carpenter's like this little tiny weird looking woman, and then Taylor's like this giant girl, and it's like I don't know. I mean, mess with my mind.
She's tall, right?
Yeah, she's tall.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture of them. I'm struggling. I quit.
So they see Lady Raven appear backstage by the buses and go in, and everybody waves. They go inside. We do some, dad doing the like, I'm down with what the dope coolness, and she's like, stop being embarrassing like a monster.
Which is something you should remember because then later in the movie, she's like, oh, we could have matching when they get the swag bag. Yeah. I don't know if you remember this behind the scenes. She's like, oh, they have two of the same color. We could match. We should get a picture matching.
Matching. Nope. She would never be matching. Yeah.
She would never want to do that. You set her up as a real person and then you decided to go against it. Just one of those. The script in this movie is not great.
Yeah. They go inside. Kids are doing TikTok dancing. Dad records her doing TikTok dancing with some other random kids. There's a Shake Shack inside. Very good. Oh, it's Tanaka Arena, which I'm sure means something.
Is that is that a real place? I didn't look it up.
No, I'm sure it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. There's this sort of weird thread where she's conflicting with these other girls at school who I guess are sort of pushing her out. And then we have the mother of one of those girls is there with one of those other girls, I guess. And
yeah, it's a little confusing.
And she shows up a few times and yells at him. And it's this whole character beat that you're like, why is this even in here? Does it serve anything?
It's supposed, and I'm just taking liberties now with knowing what's supposed to happen. I believe it's supposed to show him just another avenue of showing him pretending to care about something. So like there's a line that I wrote down when the first time she confronts him and he's like, well, Riley was really hurt about that. And as a dad, it's really hard to see those things, but he delivers it in a way that is not believable
Very flat,
at all. It's like you see him thinking this is the right thing to say. So I'm going to say it, but I don't mean it. And it's really interesting. My problem is that I do feel like people would also pick up on it. No one in the movie picks up on the things that we look at it and we're like, well, that's disingenuous, right? Like I know it is, and someone else should, but nobody does. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's a Shake Shack.
I do like Shake Shack, but here's my problem, Dan. Shake Shack burgers are more expensive and smaller than places of similar ilk. So I have a problem with Shake Shack.
They get inside. There's this weird band, Papa's Boots, that's playing.
Yeah, is that a joke? Is the name supposed to like make me giggle? I don't know. It was very weird. I don't know.
And Josh is now observing that men are getting pulled out of the crowd and drawn away.
And we're like 7 minutes into the movie, I think.
The lights dim, everyone goes crazy. Out comes the concert begins. I was like, wow, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, very small opening act. It's fine.
Yeah, he goes to the bathroom, and I wrote this down. It's all dudes in the bathroom.
Isn't it supposed to be?
Yeah, I know. I was like, then I realized, oh yeah, it's a men's bathroom. It probably should only be all dudes in there.
Yeah. That's the proper amount of dudes, I think.
So he pulls out his phone, and we see a video of a kid that's tied up in a room, and he's observing. So I was like, oh, maybe the twist is going to be that's his other kid, and he's trying to rescue this kid, but no, of course, it's just his victim.
Oh, that would have been fun. That would have been a fun twist. That's not it, Dan.
No, I know.
You're overthinking it.
Yeah, I know.
You know what's interesting is he has an app that has like some sort of devil face on it that just leads to a secret camera for murder. That felt a little weird.
Okay, well, here's your question, Tony. You're Mr. Tech Bro. You're as tech bro as I get.
Wow, thank you. That's a huge compliment.
Could you set up on your phone to kill someone? Could you make like an app to release dangerous gas to kill someone?
I bet you could.
So you think?
I bet you could, because you could. No. Yeah, you can automate stuff over Wi-Fi, right? So it's probably just like some sort of easily, you know what I mean? Just like one switch that would do it. You could probably do that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, it makes. I'm not saying that you could. I think you could do it, but someone would have to show me.
Yeah. So more vehicles arrive, more people arrive, 10 million people arrive. The amount of cops that are surrounding this area and that are employed in this thing to catch a guy that's killed 10 people is absurd.
It feels a little extreme, right?
And it feels so extreme that it's like if they were really trying to do something, they wouldn't send that many. They would be smart about it. It feels like they're being very stupid about it.
All of the steps that this profiler takes are stupid. Like none of them. I want to feel like they're outsmarting each other, and I never feel like it's a one-upping thing. Nope. It's always just like, oh, you're doing this. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And Josh Hartinett is always one step ahead, which is fine. Yeah. But she's supposed to be the best one in the country. Like she is the one they brought in to catch this guy. She is the expert. There needs to be a battle of wits, and there's just not. It
needs to be a trap. And so there needs to be guys on these 12 doors, but not on the 13th door. So he goes for the 13th door, and then he realizes, I shouldn't have gone for the 13th door because the 13th door is really where the trap is. All those other, you got to do stuff. You got trap stuff.
Or don't call your movie Trap. There's another option.
Then he starts hallucinating an old lady in the bathroom, and I'm like, oh, that's his mom who abused him. Yada, yada, yada. I find nothing surprising.
Maybe come up with
about
something
this.
more interesting.
Yes.
Right?
You're kind of frumpy lady. Man. And later on, she talks to him that doesn't make any sense. And I mean, if you really know about serial killers and their terrible parents, you got to give us a monster. She wasn't a monster. Right. She was just like a lady.
It just seemed like she was like, hey, my kid is crazy and I'm a little scared of him, so I'm not going to love him. That's what I got from it.
Yeah. He runs into the stupid mom about the girls. They're up in row 100. Yeah, they specifically make us say, we're up in row 116. I'm like, okay.
I don't care.
We're up in the cheap sheets. Cheap sheeps. The cheap seats, sheeps. The nosebleeds. Yeah. Just say that. Just say something like that.
Right. Or just don't say it. I don't really care where you are.
Lady Raven does a thing where she's like, you got to forgive the people. And I had someone do something to me and I had to forgive them. If you're going to forgive them, hold up your phone light. I like that. I liked it.
I mean, it's fine for like a pop song, right? Like it feels like something that would happen.
Yeah.
But why doesn't he have any reaction to it, since he has that exact situation where his mother was abusive to him? Why doesn't he have some sort of reaction to that? I'm not saying he should forgive her and be like, oh, I get it now, but he should not like it. He should have some sort of reaction, since it's very personal to him. And I assume that's why Shyamalan wrote it into the movie on purpose.
You mean maybe this is the point at which his ghost mom should show up, as opposed to randomly in the bathroom for no reason, and she looks
something
over
that actually triggers it. And
he looks at his phone, and then he's about to push the button. He looks at her, and then he's all like,
Great, yeah, have it mean something. That's great. Or just throw it in randomly, even though I don't know.
I don't think he has people read his scripts. I really don't think so.
I've seen Entourage, Dan, and in Entourage, he lets people read them, but only a couple people. He let Ari read his script.
There it is. He goes out to the merchandise. Oh, they both go out to get the merchandise, which makes no sense.
She would not miss a second of this conference.
Not a second.
Concert. Damn it.
There's a shirt that they want, but this other girl gets it right before her, and then the dude's like, come back in 10 minutes and I'll have more. And then he's all like, why all the police? And he's all like, oh, the butcher is here.
Oh, I'll just break every protocol they told me, and I'll tell you everything you want to know, bud.
Yeah, let me lay it out.
It's a little weird exposition.
This whole concert's a trap. There's no way out. ... Except backstage. You're like,
yeah.
If you had people, you wouldn't say to them, okay, we're going to control everything except the secret backstage.
But if anybody needs to escape, let us know and we'll sneak you out the back. It's fine. There's nobody there. What? That's not a plan.
Oh, so he sees that there's even guards where the employees go. He knocks a drunk girl down the stairs. That was funny.
It was I really like that moment, because then she said, what happened? Oh, she had too many drinks, must have fallen over. It's a nice moment. There are nice moments in this movie. All by Josh Hartinett.
He tries to make for this one door, and then he sees that he can't get out the door, which doesn't make any sense because he was just told that
they're everywhere at every exit. Yeah. Just seconds ago.
Let's see. Parker Wayne shows up and does a song, Parker Wayne, like he does, and he comes out of this trap door, and he sees the trap door. It's right next to them. And he says to the daughter, "Let's sneak out there and
that's weird.
Get behind stage." And she's all like, "Dad, you're being very weird."
And he is, but she isn't really acting like he's acting weird. She says the line, but she doesn't feel like he's acting weird.
Sure.
This is a weird thing to suggest. People come out of trap doors all the time, and no one is like, I should crawl down there. Nobody has ever said that.
He looks, lovingly down to the thing, and then it closes up, and he's sad.
Sure.
So he slips back out, sees the t-shirt guy, and then, t-shirts guy, okay, we got to go into the back. And he's like, why don't you come with me? Okay.
Not something that would happen. Wait, you're going to get fired, guy, immediately.
And, we get the whole, did they find the guy? And then the guy's like, I followed him. We have to do more exposition, like laying out what the butcher is. I follow him. He's had elected victims, blah, blah, blah. They gave us a secret code, Hamilton. And then, I've got a box cutter. You can steal my secret pass card. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it's all very weird and clunky.
But now he's got a pass card. He slips into one of the backstage areas where there's no cops directly holding it. And then there's all these cops giving another big speech. And then he walks through them to get to the coffee. And then he looks at this weird image, I think, of burnt bodies, and I didn't understand what that was.
That was one of his victims.
Oh, I didn't understand.
And he just has, some sort of emotional response to it.
Yeah, that was weird. He steals one of their walkie-talkies. Then he runs into the stupid mom again, and then
hold on, you're going. This is one of my two favorite scenes of the movie.
Okay.
Is just him leaving the group of cops.
Yeah.
Because he got his coffee and he's like smiling and excuse me, pardon me. And he gets to the last guy and his face fucking drops. Like he's putting on such a facade as he walks through. He drops his face and shoulders the last cop like purposefully. And there's just like the moment of watching his face go from, hey, I'm faking being happy and I'm going to murder you all. Awesome. It's an awesome moment.
That's kind of how my life is.
This is Dan Goodsell in public every day. Fake smiles, fake pleasantries. I'm going to murder you all, you sons of bitches.
It's kind of true.
I love it. Then you should really connect with this character, Dan, and I'm sad you didn't.
Well, I live this life. So I want to see him live like how I live.
Sure, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You take all these comedy classes and you learn acting. It's like, I'm an incredible actor now. No one sees through the facade of what's
nobody
really
sees the real me. Nobody. Oh, Dan Goodsell.
You should all be afraid. We see this stupid mom again. She gets aggro and she's like, you wouldn't like me. I have a dark side. Oh, I guess that's a clue into that he's the one with the real dark side.
Yeah.
And then,
well done.
And then someone gets up. They take someone down, and the person they take down. They take them down to this old lady who's the profiler. What function does the profiler serve in this movie?
Do you mean for the movie, or like what is her job in this scenario?
What purpose does she serve the collective movie?
Just pushing the plot forward, mostly.
Yeah. She doesn't.
That's it.
She doesn't ever really interact with him. She doesn't really ever. She says stuff that we all know automatically.
Right. She doesn't ever provide answers or new information that is surprising. I'm never impressed with her in her job. And that's what I mean when I wanted a battle of wits.
Sure.
I want her to be just as smart as Josh Hartnett, and I want them to battle. I want them to have, like, she gets close. She should be getting, like, oh, we've got him. How did we lose him? Oh, we're closing in. How does he keep escape? Like, I want that. Instead, she's just like, I don't know, put some guys around. He's probably here. So let's do it. That's it. That's her whole role of this movie. It's awful.
Yes. She does not ever give us any insights into him where we're like, oh, that's why he's, cleaning his fingernails, because she tells us why he's cleaning his fingernails. We don't get any of that from her.
Nope. It all happened off screen. I wouldn't worry about it.
And I mean, her name, Dr. Josephine Grant. And we don't care about her. It's kind of sad.
No, I don't really care about many people in this movie.
He goes down into the one hallway. He's going to pull the fire alarm, and then he's like listening on the radio, and they're like, he's probably going to pull a fire alarm in about 30 seconds. So get ready to not be fooled by his fire alarm pulling.
Pretty funny. Did it make you laugh? It made me laugh pretty hard.
Yeah.
The timing of it is hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's dumb. It's really, really dumb. I just want to drive that home. M. Night Shyamalan. It's really dumb, but also really funny. I don't know if it's intended to be funny, but the fact that his fingers are on it and she's like, I don't know, he might pull a fire alarm or something to try to distract us. That's too funny. It's too funny, man.
But then you want him to do something with that fire alarm some other time, to like...
100%. Yes.
So then
be like, oh, see, fooled you.
He slips into the fry station and throws some stuff in the boiling hot thing, and that causes an explosion, which causes a lady to get burnt in the face.
Yeah. It's the only intense moment of this whole movie.
I mean, I think it's the only time he hurts anyone, right? I mean, he pushed the lady down the stairs. He did push the ladies down the stairs.
Yeah, but she's fine. She was like walking around. She was drunk, Dan. She was super drunk.
She deserved it.
She probably didn't feel it. She deserved it.
Asking for it. That's a target of opportunity.
I mean, she's drunk, standing at the edge of the stairs. What do you want to happen, lady?
Who wouldn't have us? We all would have done that.
Yoink. Just push her down the stairs. Yeah. It's a very... What's the opposite word of violent? Like, it's a non-violent movie about a serial killer.
Yes.
And that's not super interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I'm honestly not that scared of this guy.
Nope.
It seems like the guy, Spencer, that's trapped, we get to see the footage of him getting taken later. And it just kind of feels like
Yoink.
Josh Hartnett pulled up in a van, offered him candy, and then stole him. That's what it looked like, which is, you shouldn't, that's Spencer's fault. That's 100% on Spencer.
I mean, he probably had good candy.
He probably had some butterscotch. You like those butterscotches? Oh, God, I love
like
those.
Werther's or something?
Yeah, like the grandma candy. Yeah. So
no,
good.
butterscotch is not so much, but Werther's I like. They're good.
Do you like the caramel, right? That's a Werther's, right?
They're more caramel.
I like a butterscotch.
Oh, wow, you are.
Finish it. Finish that sentence, you animal.
Big loser.
Wow.
He goes backstage, he climbs up to the roof, and there's a couple security guards up there, and you were kind of like, how's he going to escape from the roof? Is he going to rappel down somehow? I didn't
know what he's doing up there.
And then he has to he has to use the code word, and then he has to pull out the guy's wallet, who he left his wallet in his apron, and then he pulls out the secret card that they gave them. You're like...
Yeah, there's a lot of happy accidents in a string of like 45 seconds.
Make him wiggle, make him wriggle. It's like don't have him have the card. Then have him freak out. Oh my god!
Him have to outsmart him.
Yeah, he has to do. But no one, oh, you need a thing. Here's the thing.
Exactly, leads to no tension. Right, like. He's looking for it for half a second. He pats down his pockets and he's like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. See you guys later. And they're like, cool, bye. No, that scene, I should be worried he's going to get caught.
Yeah.
This is a moment where he's like, oh shit, I have to figure out how to get away from here. I don't have anything I need. What lies can I tell? Because later, again, when he's in the scene with Alison Pill, she's like, I saw you lie so effortlessly that it gave me chills. Let me see that moment.
Yeah.
Let me see him pull it out of his ass so convincingly that it's like, yeah, that guy's a serial killer.
Have him collapse, have him do something.
Do anything.
But, I mean, and once again, when he was lying to them, he was not lying really well. I was like, oh, he's lying.
No, that's what I'm saying is, yes, I would like to see him have to come up with a lie that convinces me that he could do this.
Yeah, because if he was really freaking out from somebody getting injured down there, he should have been freaking the fuck out. Like, oh my God, what the fuck? Boom, gets back. Oh, he sees the burnt girl and his mom again. You're like, oh, the mom ghost.
Mom ghost.
Somehow he meets up with the daughter in the fire alarm hallway. And then they go back to the concert. There. I don't know why she was there.
I don't know. Nobody knows. She spends less time at this concert than anyone would. She leaves way more. I don't even like concerts, and I would stay more than she did.
They get back in the concert, and next up is the song where she picks a random girl to come on stage with her. And Josh goes and sees that M. Night Shyamalan is there and it's all like, yeah, I love this show. My kid has leukemia and just getting better. Maybe you can do something about that. And he's all like, oh my God, we're going to put her on totally the thing. Can.
And see, now this is a moment where he lies convincingly.
Yeah, he does. He tells that story well.
I want it to mean more. You know what I mean? Like, this is just this feels like a dad lying for his daughter.
Yeah.
I want to see a guy lying to protect his life.
Well, and we also, as this whole fake out continues, we never see him almost get, you want one of them to say, so something, so she's doing much better. And then the daughter's like, what? And then he has to spin the lie. We want him to keep on crafting this web of lies that we feel like is going to collapse on him at some point.
Exactly. We want to feel the walls closing in. And instead, they just make everything so easy for him until the end, which is my favorite scene of the movie.
There it is. So the assistant shows up. She does the dancing thing, and he then picks up another girl who's collapsing and gets backstage to medical and then starts doing medical on her. And that scene, he goes into the drawers and starts fiddling around, and I was like, that's really weird. And that's the point at which, somebody should have said, "What? Hey, hold on, what are you doing?" And he's all like,
"What are you?" Yes.
Oh, I'm an EMT. I got this. And they're all like, oh, you're an you want...
Yeah, like, I'm a first responder. It's fine. Yeah. Like, I'm just helping out.
Because if I saw somebody, it's like, if you saw somebody going into doctor's drawers that's not a doctor, you'd be like, what the fuck's going on? What are you doing?
I get yelled at all the time for that because I'm just in there looking for like my next fix, and they just get all upset about stuff.
I need Q-tips. I'm out of Q-tips at home.
Please. Oh, Q-tip. Oh, boy. That's the best feeling. Do you Q-tip, Dan? Are you a Q-tip guy?
Not that much.
Not that much. I'm 2-3 times a day. That's a true story.
My wife loves the Q-tips.
Oh, God. It's the best.
We set up that Lady Raven has asthma.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. She pulls out an inhaler and does asthma.
Do you know why I don't remember that, Dan?
Why?
Because it never comes into play.
Never again. And I'm like, oh, God, why?
She's riding high anxiety for about 30 minutes of this movie, and I didn't even know she had. I don't think so, guys.
Yeah.
It would flare up.
Then we have this guy, the Thinker, who's this guy with this long blonde hair who wants to have sex with Josh Hartinett, but it's also like a singer. And
I don't blame him for that part, because I also would enjoy that.
Yeah, and he is like kind of a bitch. Once again, it's like these characters that are like, oh, this is going to lead somewhere, and then you're like, nah, they just walk off stage and never to be seen again.
Yeah, he just fucks off. I don't know.
So then he corners Lady Raven, gets her alone in her dressing room. Would never happen.
No,
never.
God, no. Not unless she wasn't famous. You know what I mean? Like maybe if she was like maybe if she was Papa's Boots, is that who they were called? Then maybe they'd let an unattended fan get into the dressing room. But no,
she doesn't. Nope. She doesn't have a security guard.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not going to happen with someone of her stature.
They all have security guards. Are you
ridiculous?
Kidding me? It's insane. She's like 2 feet tall. It's like. No. So he shows her the video of Spencer and is like, he's going to die. You got to get us out of here.
I have to ask you a question.
Yep.
Because I guess both times now that I've seen it.
Yep.
The moment where he flips on her, because he's like, oh, we're having fun, takes a breath and says, I think you're looking for me.
Says that
Should that have been a reveal?
He says that to Lady Raven?
Yeah, when he's trapped her in the room.
Yeah.
This is him telling her, hey, I'm the murderer.
Yeah.
He says, you're looking for me. Everyone's looking for me. It feels like a line that would be in another Shyamalan movie, the twist of us finally being like, holy shit, this is the murderer. But it comes too late, obviously, in the movie to actually be that. So I don't understand. It's a weird moment to me. I don't know. It feels out of place.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there is no, it was interesting when he does that and sort of brings her into this. I was like, oh, okay. Well, maybe she's the hero of the movie.
Which I would be fine with, but that's not what happens.
No,
really.
she's the sort of, this mid 20 minutes hero of the movie.
Yeah, which I would rather it be a full story.
Yeah.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
Personally. That's just me personally.
Yeah. Because, we don't really, so let's see what happens. Boom, boom, boom. So then she gets him out to the limo. And then she tells her driver, okay, let's go to his home. And he's all like,
don't come to my home.
So the limo driver drives her to the home, 108 Monk Road.
Now, in Monk Road, Dan, is that a nod to The Last Airbender, you think? That's what I thought of immediely. I was like, monks?
It could be.
I don't even know if they are monks. Is that insensitive? Can I call them monks?
No, they're monks. Yeah, because
great.
The Airbender monks they're all dead. So this is a place of death. So that's what it probably means. You're right, Tony.
There you go. Nailed it.
You're not right, Tony.
No, I figured out the whole movie, Dan.
They go there. They meet Allison Pill, who's the mom. There's also a son. They go inside. They have pie. And then at one point, Lady Raven's like, "Do you know who the butcher is, Rachel?" And then we find out that they found the ticket receipt in one of his abandoned fake houses.
And now, again, on second rewatch, this is a really interesting scene.
Okay.
because Allison Pill does know who the butcher is.
Yeah.
She thinks. She's pretty sure.
It's her husband.
Especially now. Like she's almost positive, you know? So it's interesting to watch her play a character that kind of knows, but's lying like she doesn't know, is probably scared for her life and her children. There's some really interesting character work between these two people, Allison Pill and Josh Hartnett. That's it.
So you got to watch the movie twice, I guess, is the what you're telling us.
So my question is, because I don't remember everything from the first time we saw it, but how did you feel that tension while watching it this time?
I thought that she was going to be the killer, or they worked in partnership, or there was going to be something really interesting fucked up about the situation. That's the thing is, this is a movie about a serial killer. I want someone to feel like they're fucked the fuck up. Like I'm like you say, I'm not scared of this guy. I'm like, well, he grabs people and he kills them. You know, he scares those people while he's killing them. But it's like, I'm not, like you say, I'm not afraid of him. I'm like, whatever.
But I don't think he does. That's the thing, right?
Oh,
like
really?
his murder is passionless.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing. Like, which is why the end, when we get to the kitchen scene, we'll talk more about it. I love the kitchen scene, even though it's not written great, but it's still really nice. He doesn't feel anger. He just does it because it brings him relief.
So it's kind of like
he just feels better doing it.
It's kind of like doing a show with you. He just like bores them to death. He just like waits for them to be
just
like,
lulls them into. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Talking so I can die.
See? And then, and imagine doing a show with someone else that's really fun. That would be the later part of the movie, That's great.
Like how it is with me. Yeah.
That's true. That's right. How I feel doing a show with you. That's how he feels at the end when he feels anger for the first time.
I really need to clone myself. And then she's like, I can play a quick song on this is like my favorite part of the movie. She's like, I can play a song. And everyone's like, what? And then we have this snap pan to the piano, which is like, right. I'm like,
surprise reveal.
It was in frame. The piano was in frame, I think. We just snap over to it. And I was like, I guess they're doing a song. And so Lady Ray,
and this is the song that I laughed at really hard.
Oh, you didn't like this song?
I did not. Did you like this song? The piano's fine.
I don't remember the song.
Well, let me tell you the words of the song. It goes like this. Where did she go? Where did she go? Where did she go? She said, where did she go 4 times in a row and then finished the song?
Well, you know what I'm going to tell you, Tony.
Please tell me something, Dan.
That one day I gained some amount of respect for you.
Wait, have I lost it since that day? Just so I know where I'm at.
It's like,
that's great.
It's the point at which I realized you may be a better actor than me. Just
okay, great. I crossed that bar. This is a good day.
We're in that comedy class with Jeff Galante, and he was doing the thing where you only have one line to say, and then you have each character has one line to say. It just goes back and forth.
Yeah,
and then you
put
that. Acting mustard on it each time, and each time you did your line, when you did it like 6 or 8 times, you did something different with it. Everyone else just kept...
Well, that was the exercise, Dan. I don't know if you remember.
Everyone else just kept saying the same line and nothing was happening.
Sure.
Tony was like, mustard, 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 mustard.
Sure. Well, yeah. That's the exercise. So I'm happy you recognized it, but I think the more important thing is that nobody else was able to do it differently. It might not be that I'm a good actor. It might just be that they're all pretty bad.
And you got laughs off of them.
Yeah,
I think I got laughs too, because
Of course, you're damn good.
But you got better laughs than me, and I was impressed and jealous at the same time.
Thank you for the flowers, Dan. I appreciate that. It's pretty rare.
And I learned something about acting that day.
That you don't want to do it anymore?
Hell no.
That's what I learned recently.
Terrible.
It is terrible.
So she snatches Josh Hartnett's phone and has Riley's
and the
phone,
daughters,
which never came of anything, I don't think.
Nope. She just took all the phones in the house, just because.
Locks herself in the bathroom. Josh Hartnett loses his fucking mind out there, which we don't see.
Loses his mind, and I want to see him go through it so badly.
But it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
She then does a thing which I thought was really clever and really interesting point. She calls up her fans, and with the information
does it like an Instagram live.
The information that Spencer has, that she's able to send her minions to where he is and save his life within like a little 5-minute span.
If that had been building to this moment and that was like the climax of her character, that would be really nice. But this is all pretty much brand new information, and it's just like a little blip.
Yeah.
You know, like I would love her to, I don't know.
If she'd have spent time with Josh and had pumped him about what was going on with this kid, and it's like, why would you do this? You know, he's like, I do this, and you know, she slowly gets this information out of him, and then she has these minutes with his phone. You would be like, fucking get the information out, get to find the people.
Yeah.
But
100%.
But instead, you know, and he doesn't even come through the door. She eventually opens the door. So she could have spent 25 minutes in there for all we know. Right? He threatened something. Why didn't she?
Yeah. He did a lot of yelling. He locked his family away.
Supposedly.
And then she was done. You know?
Yeah. And she's like, okay, I'm coming out now. Like, wait a second. Hold on. You're protected in this space. He has to destroy that door. He has to do something.
Well, you can't. Here's the problem. He's a fireman, right?
Can't get through a door.
He can't take an axe to the door because Jack Nicholson already did that.
He already did that. Noise is crashing. Takes phone. Takes her to the garage. He's got the go bag in the car.
We missed another nice moment.
Yeah.
He collects himself, calm and cool, takes his phone back, opens it, looks at it, and sees that Spencer's missing. Yeah. And he does this really calm, turns the phone, and he goes, now, how did you do that? And it's he's impressed.
Yeah.
And I love that moment. Like, he's impressed with that she outsmarted him because no one else has outsmarted him in this whole movie. And I just like that moment.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, this is going to be the movie. Oh, here we're finally going to get to the movie. It's going to be.
And then it's not.
These two cat and mousing it.
And yet another twist from M. Night Shyamalan. It's not that, Dan. Twist back to the original boring one.
So they go out into the car. Lady Raven tries to act like his mom, and then he kind of has a little bit of a problem, but not really.
Yeah, no, not really. I like the moment when he turns to her at the end, and I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, something, mom. like he sarcastically gives her a mom. It's funny because he is acknowledging that this was a waste, like nothing worked and it was dumb. I don't know. It's interesting. It's not great, but it is what it is.
So he tries to pull out, and boom, there's the family, and he realizes that he's never looked at his house and how easy it is to escape from his house, and they just climbed out the window and down a tree.
Now,
come on,
I have a problem.
This is a man with zip ties, and fireman is 1,000 times bigger than all of them. They should be unconscious.
They give you the line. They give you the Dan Goodsell line. He goes, I've never thought about my house in that lens. And then says, never let the two lives touch. Now that flimsy, right?
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
No.
But it also isn't true because he has an escape hatch in his fucking kitchen. So he has thought about it, Dan. Yeah. He has thought about it a bunch, enough to possibly tunnel under his own house into his neighbors. That is ridiculous. If someone had taken the time to put in an escape hatch into his house, into his neighbor's backyard, he definitely thought about his house in that lens.
Yes.
I was very mad. Sorry.
Very silly. Lady Raven slips out of the car, and he dads away as they all move away. How
does she just get out of the car? Don't limos have locks, like child-proof locks in the back?
This is his car. She's in his car right
sorry. Now. You're right. Sorry, I'm in the wrong scene.
Yeah. So she slips out, and then 10,000 cops show up. He goes back in the house and starts sweeping up.
Sorry, Dan. I got to say another moment that I liked, though.
Yeah.
As the family is leaving.
Yeah.
He is telling them what to do. He's like, wife, the electrician comes Monday, or the water heater person comes. Like he does care. It's a nice moment because he does care. but also he's got this other side. So he's like getting those last things in, and then he shuts the garage door, and it just like slowly closes over him. It's a nice little moment.
They just should have made him more of a psychopath, you know?
Sure.
Just like, I don't know. He just never really felt like enough of a psychopath.
Well, I think that's the point, though, because they say it like the profiler. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying it's very intentional, right?
Yeah.
Like it's built that way because that's the way they want it. I'm not saying that was the right choice, because the profiler even says at the end to the wife is maybe a mother would have noticed it, which she did, but nobody else after that would notice it because he's so normal and yet so different. And that was just what they wanted to play, you know? I don't know. It makes for a not very fun, exciting, interesting movie. But it does allow Josh Hartnett to have really nice moments of battling those two characters in his head.
Yeah. Okay, the police surround the house. His family drives away. They go in and they find the tunnel. He is tunneled away and has gotten away, and somehow he has disabled the limo driver, put on the limo driver's outfit, and then Lady Raven gets in the car.
Right.
And he drives away.
It's very weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Even like temporally, like time-wise. None of that makes any sense.
It's a lot of work.
It's a
lot to get done.
Ton of work. Yeah.
And for what reason? He doesn't care about her.
No. Well, he does. I would argue he does a little bit because, again, she outsmarted him. I think that has triggered something in him where he's like, okay, I need to kill her.
Well, then
projecting.
That has to be the rest of the movie.
I agree. This is me projecting my own beliefs on it, just based on what I know about the character, because I find that he outsmarts everybody so easily. So finding someone that would match him would, I think, be very important to him.
Sure.
Again, we don't deal with it. I'm just putting that in my own head.
So he drives away with her and decides to drive through a main street where there's 1 million people.
What a great idea. You know, like from a guy who's been pretty much smarter than everybody the whole movie. What a wonderful idea. Just drive down a busy road, get stopped, and then let her roll down a window.
If he was really going to it's just terrible.
It's not good.
So she finally rolls down a window and is like, help me, call the police. How many of those people called the police? 0.
In fact, one of them asked why. She said, help me. And someone in the crowd goes, why? Like, what? If Lady Raven rolled down a window and said, help me, people would tear the doors off that limousine. Are you kidding me?
Tear the doors off that limousine.
Ridiculous.
She then, people block the car and just stand there and don't do anything. She's able to break free and get out. And then what does she do when she gets out of the car?
I think she just goes into the crowd and then turns around, right?
She stands in the crowd and is silent.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
You know, it's a totally normal reaction.
Call the fucking police! Right. You know? There's
or tell people, hey, that's the butcher. The butcher's in this car. Someone kill him.
Yes, this car is surrounded. You say the butcher's in the car. These people would tear that car apart.
100%.
But instead, the police show up, and then somehow he has changed into one of her T-shirts and gotten out of the car.
So the only thing I can assume is that he's a quick change artist. You know, like those people that have like the hoop and they go, new outfit. Well, that's Josh Hartnett in this movie, baby.
And then when the police open the door, he has propped up the thing to
he
look like...
He had time to build a fake body out of his equipment. I mean, it's just asinine. It doesn't make any sense, man. I love it. It's great.
Lady Raven then goes to the lion house and hugs Spencer. And I
don't care about any of it.
And then the profiler is there. And then I think Lady Raven says this to the profiler. They say you lecture on this.
Yeah.
And that's the point at which she says, only his mom knew she was a monster.
Right. None of it makes any sense.
Why are we hearing that? Why?
Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason.
And then we get back to, we go back to the house. There's Allison Pill watching a video of the Spencer abduction. And boom, there he is sitting at the table because he's broken back into his own house.
Because he's mad at his wife. Because he's finally figured out how he got caught. I love this scene. I think this is great.
And he takes off his shirt to which is just doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense, Dan, because
I don't want my that they should have stripped down to nudity.
So this is, well,
I know,
mean,
that's
I'm
what
not
you
against that. I was hoping that the whole time. I was like, let's do the pants next, baby. Come on. Josh.
I mean, if he was a clean freak, we should have seen that more than just him sweeping up one time and him taking off his shirt.
Sure. Well, we should have seen a lot of stuff, I would argue, in this movie.
If you're going to make him OCD, I want to see a guy that's OCD.
I get it, but I'm just telling you what Josh and I know, which is we know this character. M. Night Shyamalan, who wrote it, doesn't know the character that well.
Not really. You know what I mean? Not really.
But this is a nice scene from me, Dan, because she tells him how she figured it out, and it was because of the way he smelled. So he takes off the shirt, and he doesn't want to mess up the shirt, and he's getting all this great stuff. And then they sit down and they have a conversation.
Yeah.
And he says, I feel so much rage towards you.
Yeah.
And it's the first time he's ever felt rage in his life.
Yeah.
And I love him just trying to like understand what these feelings are and what they mean. And then he has a nice little conversation with his mom, fake mom. And she's like, you're not a monster. And he has tears in his eyes and he's like, not all of me's a monster. It's a beautiful scene. And in a better movie, this scene would be fucking amazing.
Yes, could have been.
Yeah, but I still really like it. He does. I think they both do a really great job, Alison Pill and Josh Hartnett, in this scene. Like it's the first scene in the movie where I feel like someone else is also acting really well. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like not that anyone's a bad actor, but like this is a scene where it's like two acting powerhouses have a mediocre to good scene, and they elevate it to a place where it shouldn't have been in the first place.
And I'm sitting here through this whole scene and I'm going like this. What is happening? What is happening?
What's happening, Dan, is he's finally realizing that he thought he was pretending to care about his family this whole time. But it turns out he does care. And not only that, he cares so much that he wants to kill his wife because she's going to take away his children. And him wrestling with the fact that he does care that much, and he's so disappointed that it's going to end, and I quote, in the standard way of murder-suicide. He's disappointed. He's upset that his life has led him to the point where it's all very good. It's very, very good.
I'd be yelling, just kill yourself.
No, he can't do that because of the rage. He can't control it. The killing has always been about control, and now he feels like he can't control it, and he's mad, and he's going to kill for the first time for passion. It's lovely. It's a great moment. Character study.
You should probably write like a one-act play. Go all.
Will Josh be in it?
Go all Sam Shepard on this shit.
If Josh will be in it, I'll write it. You know what I'm saying?
The police come. Oh, she drugs him with the pie.
With his own drugs somehow. She found the bag
in the car
and put the drugs in the pie. And also the point where she's like, let's have one more slice of pie. Really weird, terrible writing. Doesn't make any sense. But you just have to let that slide. You have to let it slide because the acting of this scene from Josh and from Alison Pill is good enough that I'll allow bad writing.
But the whole thing is, and what effect does this drugs have on him?
It makes him groggy and easier to trick. And then it makes him believe that the profiler is his mom. Does that really happen? Or do you think this mom's fictitious again? It's hard to be sure.
I don't know.
I don't know either. The movie doesn't tell you. That's for sure.
Basically, the police figure out that he's in there. Don't know how. She put on a teapot.
Well, they had people watching the house, so I'm sure.
Why didn't they come in like an hour ago? Like, why didn't they come at the beginning of the scene?
Maybe she was trapping him. Oh. It's another trap. Don't worry about
So
it.
they come in and two guys taser him multiple times. He ignores the taser, which you absolutely can do.
Okay, so we had that conversation. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that true? Like, I feel like I've heard people on drugs can do it.
Okay. Sometimes you'll be running, they taser you, you become
You just
aboard. Bang, down.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes they tase you 3, 4, 5 times, and it slows you down, but it doesn't take you down.
But it doesn't sound
Yeah,
interesting. Okay.
It's very variable. It might have to do with how it hits you and,
like where the electricity
Yeah,
is and stuff.
and how-
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to tell the story.
Did you get tased in the nuts, Dan?
It was the opposite. Shannon was watching this video, and there was this person on drugs, this woman, and she was climbing on a bunch of electrical equipment, like transformers and shit. So they had to they had to turn off the whole city block, and then they sent a cherry picker up there to get her. She won't get down, so they shoot her with the taser. And where do they hit her?
In the Netherlands.
And someone down there goes, they shot her in the ... And Shannon got very angry, and I was like, I don't know, man, that's pretty funny. And then she sort of slides off of the wire that she's on. Very rude, but it was funny.
That was good. Oh, I wish I would have seen it a little bit.
So boom, they taser him, but he still has a chance to kill a guy by poking at his eyes with his thumbs.
Sure,
which was like, wow,
he's-
that poor idiot's the one guy. Maybe
You don't move? You don't move back a little? Take a few steps?
I'm going to tell you something, Tony. The butcher is at the point where they're not using non-lethal. I'm sorry. They're using lethal.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
They spent $2 million creating this trap, and then they're like, no, be careful with him. Don't hurt him.
We really got to try him. Well, we need to understand what's going on. We need him to talk about his mom for a couple of days. So they finally take him down, and this is the thing I hate the most in the movie. What do they do with him, Tony?
Put him in chains?
They put him in chains, and where are his hands in these chains?
In front.
And what can he do with these hands?
Almost anything, I would say.
Over the course of the last couple of weeks, Shannon and I have watched a lot of police body cam footage. You know who they let have their hands in the front?
Nobody?
Nobody. No fucking person for not even a fucking second. Everybody has their hands behind their back, which they complain and whine and cry because it's painful. But the only people that ever get their hands in front are like pregnant mothers that, were in a traffic stop and there's nothing. You have to be 1 out of 1,000 people to have your hands in front. And you are the most non-threatening women in the world.
So the butcher.
Yes, exactly. And he freaks out, and it's like there's a bicycle on the ground. He's like, I gotta put that bicycle up. And then the daughter runs over to him. They let the daughter through, and he's all like, I gotta hug my daughter one last time.
They let the profiler is like, let her through, as if like she's mad that they were almost going to stop this tiny child from going towards a serial killer. That's ludicrous.
He has his hands in the front. You know what he could do? Put those hands right around her neck and break her neck instantaneously.
He could break her neck in less than a second, man. She's got a tiny neck. She's a child. It's wild. It's wild stuff.
So stupid. They lock him in the whatchamacallit thing, and it turns out that when he picked up the bike, he stole one of the spokes and immediately picks all his locks, and then
how did he do that without anybody noticing? Is it that easy to get it off the bike?
To get a spoke, I think it was a spoke, or maybe it was it was the little lid off of the inner tube thing, and then maybe he pulled that. You can't do any of that. Those things are fine motor work. To put a spoke on a fucking bike, you have to have a special tool that you have to turn 100 times.
I had no idea what he took, but it was pretty big. He pulls it out of his sleeve, and it's like a magician taking those handkerchiefs out. Just keeps going. I was like, well, how did he get this? What is it? I don't even know what on a bike. I don't know what that is. Wild stuff.
So stupid.
It's very dumb, but it leads to another wonderful moment.
Where he picks his locks and then he's sitting back there laughing.
He laughs. It's the first time this person has ever genuinely laughed in their entire life. And he's surprised. It's what I love about it, Dan, is the first laugh is like, it's a genuine laugh. And he's like, holy shit. You can see it in his eyes. He's like, holy shit, I'm laughing. And then he laughs bigger because he's surprised that he's laughing. It's a wonderful moment. It's really nice.
You are so in love with him. And
I am.
And then we have like a little stinger where the t-shirt guy sees him on TV and he's all like, what?
Oh my God.
I
so
helped
stupid.
him. I am never going to help anyone ever again.
He says, I'm not talking to anyone at work ever again. And I was like, that's funny.
It was
it's
funny.
Stupid. It doesn't fit this movie.
No.
But, whatever. It's fine.
Hot Tub Time Machine Part 2 coming next summer. You're like, okay, fine.
All
that's
right,
fine.
guy.
Yeah, that's the movie. It certainly was it's an easy watch, but
For sure.
it's an
Yeah.
easy yet unsatisfying watch. That's what I would say about it.
Yes. Yeah. But if you go into it thinking of it not as a movie, but as a study of a character played by Josh Hartinett where you miss some fairly important parts of it, it's really great.
If you look for the movie it could have been, you might enjoy the movie it could have been.
Everyone needs a little bit more optimism in their lives, all right?
It's one of those movies. You pick your own movie.
Choose your own adventure.
There's a different movie in this movie for everyone.
Amen to that. Also, Josh Hartnett's great. Welcome back. Let's get him some real work, guys.
Tony, tell us about something you liked this week.
So it is, what is it? November 16th today.
It is.
So it's Christmas season.
No.
We are on the Hallmark Plus app. We are watching a wonderful little ditty called Finding Mr. Christmas. And it's a reality television show where they put male models, actors, what have you, through different tests to find the next Hallmark leading man. And then supposedly at the end of the contest, they release the movie that winner made. So we're very excited. It's very fun. It's stupid. It's silly. It's Christmas. It's fun. We love it.
I always wanted I had like a sitcom idea where you owned your own Christmas store.
Let's do that. I love Christmas. This is the best idea you've ever had.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Write it.
I never told you that idea.
No, you never told me that idea. I love it.
I wrote it.
I'm in.
Wrote it down somewhere. I might have some notes on it. It's like
I hope you got lots of notes.
I think I had a good name for it too. I don't remember what the name was though. There's a new terrible reality show called Roller Jam where they do the groups of people that do roller skating.
What? Roller Jam TV show? Yep, this is right up my alley, Dan.
What I did was, it's on like I don't know if it's on Netflix or one of the streamers. You can just
it's on HBO Max.
HBO Max. You can just watch the roller skating. So you just watch about 10 minutes. Ignore all the judging. Fairly entertaining show.
I love it. That's smart. I'm definitely going to give this a shot.
And then there's a podcast I've been listening to called Every Single Sci-Fi Film Ever.
That sounds like a long podcast.
Each week she picks a different sci-fi film and then he talks to like some actual science experts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a good show.
Is there in order? Is she going in order?
Nope.
Okay, so just like whatever you decide that week.
Yeah,
okay, that's cool.
She had this one neurologist on, the one I was listening to today, and they were talking about The Creator, which is the Gareth. What's
the
his
movie
name?
I never watched. Yeah.
It's pretty terrible. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beyond a beautiful movie as a movie. And then he was talking about AI, and I wanted to hit him with a rock because.
Why?
Because people. AI is doing magical things, and Hollywood's gonna be all different for the better because of all this AI garbage. And it's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's really not.
I mean, because that's the thing is, if we watch a lot of movies, most of which you don't.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan made a lot of movies, some of which are really good. This is a guy that
sure.
all of his movies are not good.
Yeah,
And
amen to
there's
that.
mistakes in this movie that are like these big chasms, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That you would think,
yeah.
oh, you wouldn't make those chasmical. There must be a word in there.
There might be, but I don't have it.
Chasmus mistakes. ChatGPT, that's all it's going to give you. It's going to give you the blandest shit of the world, or it's just going to give you, if ChatGPT wrote this movie, there would be nothing here.
Well, sure. But you know what it can do is like it can generate wild ideas, and then you write stuff based off that maybe.
Well, sure. But I mean, I have a million wild ideas that I never get around to finishing.
We know, Dan. We know. You got a lot going on upstairs, though,
piles of wild ideas.
You should get on some of those.
I work on them every day.
Specifically ones about maybe Christmas and people owning Christmas stores. Maybe start there. See what that one's all about.
No, I'm writing one about the income tax right now.
You son of a bitch. Income tax? I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, my one character gets an income tax bill. Like we all do.
I do know. I know very well.
Usually you shouldn't write about shit like that, but I don't know. I had it on my idea list from 10 years ago, and I'm like, I got to do something.
Oh, my God. We're 10 years in the backlog? Jesus, dude. We got a lot of work to do.
I have oh, what about this? What about that idea?
What does that say? Jingle Bell Rat? I love it.
Jingle Bell Rat.
The Jingle Bell Rat. Yeah, that's good.
Did you see the
animated film?
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you see the one on Netflix, which is like Mr. Frosty, where it's like Frosty the Snowman turns into a hot Frosty?
Oh yeah, no, that's on our list. Yeah, we're definitely watching that soon. Yeah.
It's like #1 film on Netflix. Netflix is we're gonna see next year. They're gonna have 5 to 10 brand new films. I bet you.
I love it.
They are gonna compete with Hallmark for Christmas movies starting next year.
Oh, for sure. Because here's the thing: is like that just prints money. People watch
free money.
So many Christmas movies during the 2 months of Christmas. It is absolutely worth it.
Free fucking money.
And the Frosty one's got the veterinarian from Schitt's Creek in it.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
All right. Well,
see, I'm being Josh Hartinett. I'm like having no emotions.
But he's pretending, all right? The least you could do is pretend.
Oh, wow. Christmas. Oh, the guy, the veterinary from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I feel it. This is great.
I love
what
that
a day.
guy. He's hilarious and sexy.
I love that guy.
Okay, Tony.
You're doing great,
Tony,
Dan.
we need another movie because you're going to have
you brought this up.
You got your work cut out for you because this Trap was a good movie to talk about. I think it was a
you brought this up, I think, last week or the week before, and I was like, yeah, we should probably do it.
Oh.
It's Chris Pine's directorial debut, Pool Man. Pool Man.
You can get Pool Man? You should go buy it so I don't have to pay this.
Yeah, you can get it. It's on Hulu right now.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay, I'll watch it on there.
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is the perfect time. It's on streaming.
We're talking, Jen and I are talking about hot men. And, I was like, oh, Chris Pine, there's a very, very attractive man. And she's like,
beautiful man.
I loved it in that movie where he like plays the doctor on the island, Spider, whatchamacallit. And I'm like, that's not Chris Pine. That's Chris Hemsworth. Yeah. She got Chris Hemsworth and Chris Pine confused. How can you get those two people confused?
I mean, they don't look anything like, but they both are named Chris.
They're both named Chris. They're both very attractive.
So it's tough. It's tough stuff.
There's the Tony question. Who's the most attractive? Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth, yes. Chris Evans.
No, it's Pine for me.
Yeah.
And I will give you my reasoning because I like a smart, sarcastic guy, and that's like he really fits that. Chris Hemsworth is like a jovial, funny. You know what I mean? Like he's like, oh, life is good. I'm this guy, and then Chris Evans is kind of like wet tissue paper.
I doesn't like the Chris Evans.
I know you love Captain America. I don't like him. I'm not a fan.
Greatest superhero of all superheroes.
Maybe in the comics, not in the movies.
Winter Soldier.
Let me be clear. Great movie.
Is there
one
is
of
there,
the best Marvel movies?
Is there a better Marvel movie than Winter Soldier?
I like Iron Man more than I like Winter Soldier.
Oh, sure.
The original Iron Man, I think, is a perfect summer blockbuster. Winter Soldier, obviously, a very great movie. Not really what I would consider a blockbuster, as much as like a really good spy noir, but a little bit bigger. But I love the mix of comedy, and RDJ is that perfect, my perfect sarcastic life sucks, but I'm great. I love that balance, Anyhow,
Never seen it again.
So
never saw that movie again since it came out.
Iron Man?
Yeah, never saw it again.
Oh, I've seen it a bunch of times, just a bunch of times.
Good,
it's great.
Good for you.
It's really good.
For you.
What's your favorite, Chris?
I mean, if you're talking about sexiest, yeah, Chris Pine by a lot, yeah.
But your favorite would be Hemsworth or Evans?
I don't have a favorite.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, sexiest. I think and personally, not even close, so I get it.
I mean, I think about all their roles, and they all have roles that I love, so I could never have a favorite.
Like Cellular for Chris Evans. That was a good movie.
Did we do that movie?
I don't think so.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an old, like, it was probably early 2000s, maybe. I don't know. Kim Basinger, he answers his phone and she's in trouble and he has to like save her, but he's like a beach dude. I don't know. It was good. It was a fun movie.
Okay, that sounds
fun little thriller.
Fun.
Yeah, you should go watch it. It's fun.
There you go. Okay, well, we're going to be back next week talking about whatever movie it is that you just said we're doing.
Cool Man.
Cool Man. The Cool Man.
No, Pool Man. Cool Man.
It's going to be funny to see him do something terrible because I just rewatched Dungeons & Dragons.
It'll be interesting.
Like a week ago.
And God, that movie's so good.
Much better the second. I mean, I enjoyed it much better the second time.
You should try it another 15 times. It's still good. I tell you that right now.
A lot of jokes, a lot of good character stuff. What's her name is the barbarian?
Michelle Rodriguez.
She delivers on every single. She's like, you know what I'm going to do? I don't have a lot of lines in this movie, but every one of them, I'm going to deliver.
Knock
perfectly.
them out of the park.
So you can't give me shit ever. And everyone in the movie does that too.
Yeah, no, they're all great. Yeah. Even Renee Genet Paget, even that son of a bitch is funny in that movie.
God damn, he's so good.
When he walks over that stupid rock, makes me so mad that it makes me laugh.
Such a good joke. Such a good joke. Oh, he takes the baby out of the fish. Oh my God.
Stupid. I hate him. I hate him so much, but I like him in the movie.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be back talking about Pool Boy.
Goodbye, everybody.